Campbell toes the rubber. Forsythe in the box, and we're ready to go. And the first pitch of this Big 12 title game is called a strike by home plate umpire Mike Morris. Oklahoma State finished 19-9 in the Big 12 regular season, lost a couple of games to weather, so finished percentage points ahead of Texas for second in the league behind Oklahoma. You kind of touched on it, Runes. This Oklahoma team essentially ran away with the Big 12 regular season title.
There's only 30 league games, and to have 23 wins, it's just a big number that you don't see every year because the league has so much parity. So in conference, OU has been elite.
There's the conference coach of the year, Skip Johnson, doing just a wonderful job with this bunch. Texas native has had some really good teams in recent years. That nearly dehorned Campbell. Coming right back up the middle. Lane Forsythe leading off the game with a ringing single up the middle.
And here we go. Gosh, is there anything more gorgeous in baseball than a line drive up the middle? Little bat dismount. You go, Lane Forsythe. Clay, now it's a party.
Well, and now it's time for Carson Binge, who we highlighted at the top. Binge, the UConn, Oklahoma native, 9 for 18 in the championship with a couple of home runs. He has driven in 5. Swing and a miss. 16 total bases for Binge in this tournament.
Yeah, when he gets on a heater, he can carry an entire offense. It is tremendous left-handed bat speed, and he's also a great athlete.
Fouled off. 2 strikes here to Carson Binge. Binge, a standout two-way player. As you touched on, a draft-eligible sophomore. Where do you see him going in the draft?
I wish I was his financial planner. That's where I see him going. He's got first-round pick. I mean, you know, quite honestly, like picks 20 to 35. It feels like a lot of projections have him right there.
It's a ground ball. We'll see if it's 2 to second for 1 to first. Not in time. Binge able to beat it down the line. Jackson Willits and the other Jackson Nicholas, pretty good double play combo, but not hit hard enough to get 2.
Yeah, Binge is a really good runner. Jackson Willits has been really coming into his own at shortstop as a true freshman for the Sooners. It's a good baseball play.
So there's 1 out. Man on for Schubert. Carson Binge, by the way, 10 stolen bases on the year. He's been caught 4 times. A breaking ball in there for a strike. Nolan Schubert leads Oklahoma State in average and in homers, 19 now on the year. He's had 2 here in the championship with 7 runs batted in. Nothing in 1.
A little cutter at 85. Yeah, Schubert is missed a decent amount of time with injury this year, but he feels like he's really gotten settled in and on track in the second half of the season.
Yeah, he has come on strong for sure. 2 strikes to Nolan Schubert, the Oklahoma State left fielder. Binge away from first. That's a line drive down the line, base hit. Binge rounding second, heading for third. Schubert to second base, standing up. Second hit in the inning for the Cowboys.
You know, Nolan Schubert, there's so much strength and power here, so much bat speed. If he gets a ball off his barrel, it's almost inevitably going to be extra bases. Great to see him settled in and fully healthy in the second half here. What a force he can be for this lineup.
Man, he has been fun to watch this week. Schubert was 2 for 5 with a homer and 4 ribbies in the semifinal win over UCF yesterday. Picks up where he left off. Here's Earhart now. Earhart finding himself in the cleanup spot for this game. Zach's got a home run in this championship, and he's 4 for 13. 4 runs batted in, and he has walked 6 times.
Yep, he's the engine, Zach Ehrhard. He's what makes this team go.
Two strikes. Oklahoma State, pretty good average this week with runners in scoring position, close to 300, 10 for 34.
We'll take that.
2 on, 1 out here in the first inning. Inside from Campbell. Campbell pitched Thursday in relief against Kansas, ended up getting the win. 3 hitless innings, didn't strike out anybody, but only the 1 walk, and he gets the start here today for the Oklahoma Sooners.
Yeah, and this is just get his work in and get him ready for the postseason. One of the most trusted relievers for Skip Johnson.
The 1-2. That's going to get on a play. 8th Big 12 tournament finals appearance for Oklahoma State, in the 7th time under Josh Holliday, including last year. Last year the game got a little wonky on Oklahoma State. They ended up on the losing end of a 12-5 affair with the Horned Frogs.
Boy, TCU was on some type of heater at that point.
That just missed. 2-2.
On their way to Omaha is what they were.
They got hot here at Globe Life and carried it all the way into the College World Series.
A little bit of juice in the building, Clay. Loving this.
Bedlam.
Let's go.
2-2 to center. Spikerman backing off, tagging at third is Binge, and here comes the first run of the ball game. They're going to try to gun down Schubert at third, but that throw is late, and it's 1-0 Cowboys. Sacrifice fly by Zach Ehrhard.
Boy, that's good offense. It was an 0-2 count to Ehrhard, and Spikerman does a great job working behind that baseball. Almost makes it a very close play at third base. Just very good baseball so far, Clay, in this game.
2 down, and now Tyler Wolford comes up. Senior from Farmington, New Mexico. 252, 5 homers, 23 driven in. 3 hits here in the tournament. A couple of doubles and an RBI. We were talking about Campbell and how trusted he is as a reliever. This is his 91st career appearance today. 3rd all-time in program history at Oklahoma.
It's like a security blanket for a coach, having a reliever like that.
That's a wide miss. 1-1.
I'll tell you, Wolford here is interesting. He's the he was the newcomer of the year last year, I should say, in 2023 in the league from junior college. But Aiden Miola is a really key player. I don't think we'll see him today. He's nursing a hamstring injury, but just extra depth for Oklahoma State.
And Miola was out of the lineup yesterday as well. And Wolford seems to be getting his health back to 100%. He's been nicked up from time to time throughout the year.
100%. Yeah, but Miola is important though, because Miola and Ehrhard are the heartbeat of this team, and then Carson Benji you see right there, and Schubert. Those are the stars.
A run already in for Oklahoma State. The 1-2 here to Wolford. Pulled down the line, bouncing ball to McKenzie. The throw in time to get Oklahoma off the field. McKenzie, Nicholas, Madron. We've got one of those guys leading off right out of the gate here for the Sooners. John Spikerman has been quiet by his standards for this championship. 2 for 13. Hasn't driven in any runs, but one of those switch hitters you talked about. Leads the team in average. 390 on the year. Big swing from Spikerman. Ball and a strike.
there's that slider. Hey now.
Got him swinging. Ian Doherty has to do some dirty work, but makes the throw a little high, but Brigman is able to glove it. It's a good thing he's about 6'4".
Yeah. Brigman, whatever height he is, all of it was utilized right there.
They actually list him as 6'6". He needed every bit of it. So one down, and Easton Carmichael coming up. Carmichael in the DH spot, also does quite a bit of catching for the Sooners. Pretty good movement there from Molsky. One strike. Carmichael 5 for 13 in the championship with a triple and an RBI. Just caught the corner. 2 strikes.
Crisp 94 right there, Clay. Like your shirt. Right? It's a great shirt.
I didn't iron it.
Okay.
Let's just put it that way.
Well, good.
The 0-2 way outside.
Slider up to 88. Yeah, fastball up to 94. Molsky is really a 2-pitch reliever, but it's 2 pitches that can both miss a bat.
Easton Carmichael, first team All Big 12. Has had a wonderful year. The sophomore from Prosper, Texas. 2-2. Back to Molsky. And he'll flip to first. 2 down. So a good start for Tommy Molsky, the junior from Dillsburg, PA. For the Cowboys, that came in the top on an RBI sac fly by Zach Earhart. This is Jackson Willits at the plate for the Sooners. Oklahoma shortstop will hit with 2 outs. Alongside Mike Rooney, I'm Clay Matvick. And we're crowning champions here today. Fly ball to center. And this is Earhart making the catch for the 3rd out. We're going to talk more about the big.
I think there's a championship, there's a trophy, and it's Bedlam, right? And so both teams don't want to give that trophy up to their rival. But these 2 teams have been the class of the league, and OU's going to be a top 8 national seed, we think. Oklahoma State's going to be a host. So it's really 2 really good teams going at it.
And of course, the Big 12 is going to be well represented in the national tournament. You're going to be a part of the selection show on Memorial Day on ESPN2 at noon Eastern. There are some teams, though, from the Big 12 runes that are probably going to be sweating it a little bit on Memorial Day.
Yeah, I mean, you've got 9 teams that have good postseason resumes. 7, most of the projections say that 7 Big 12 teams are going to get in. So, yeah, even for Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, though, right? Nobody sleeps the night before the selection show. It's just you're too excited.
This is Colin Ritchie at the plate for the Cowboys. He's going to foul this pitch from Carter Campbell off. Campbell, a lefty, a senior from Keller, Texas. Getting the start. Gave up a run in the 1st inning. A couple of base hits and then an RBI sac fly by Zach Earhart. And we expect some runs in this game, Mike. I mean, during the regular season, the teams combined for 77 runs in their 4 meetings.
Yeah, for Oklahoma, it's one of the most dynamic offenses in the country. Oklahoma State, very formidable as well.
Ritchie rolls out to short, and that's where Jackson Willits has been playing all year. It's a very good defense, too, for Oklahoma.
Yeah, the thing about Oklahoma is, even though we're in an era of college baseball where it's power, 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 Oklahoma's MO is athleticism. They want to run the bases aggressively, and when you're athletic, it also allows you to defend the field well, too.
This is Ian Doherty. Doherty, the junior catcher, 1 for 11 for the championship. Has an RBI. He's had a nice year behind the plate for Oklahoma State, Runes. A career high in homers and runs batted in.
Well, and Oklahoma State's been one of the best pitching staffs in the country, and when that's the case, there's always a good catcher behind the scenes.
Yeah, certainly. Doherty deserves credit for that, and now he hits it pretty deep to left center field. Spikerman covers a lot of ground, gets to the warning track, and makes the catch. Oklahoma State, terrific pitching staff.
Yeah, it's one of the best ERAs in the country, and that's not just the Big 12, that all 300 teams. So it's interesting. It's not our father's Oklahoma State team where it's just double-digit home runs up and down the lineup. They really pitch.
Their team ERA is 4.08, good for 11th nationally starting the day.
Incredible.
So here's Colin Bergman at the plate. Second team All Big 12 for the second straight year. As Carter Campbell, it's behind him, 3 balls and no strikes. Brigham&'s had a rough Big 12 tournament, Runes. 1 for 15 at the plate, but he's been one of their best hitters throughout the year, especially power-wise, with 14 homers. Trying to get him dialed back in. Maybe a 4-pitch walk will bring him out of it.
Yeah, and I think you talk to opposing pitching coaches, they'll tell you, I don't care what Brigham's numbers are. He's a 6'6", 240-pound left-handed hitter. That's scary, right? Like,
yeah.
I don't want him to get hot on my watch.
There's Skip Johnson. He's also the pitching handler for Oklahoma. What a great job he did this year.
Skip is a pitching savant in college baseball. Was Augie Garrido's pitching coach at Texas for a decade, and as good as it gets.
Big 12 Coach of the Year this year. Avery Ortiz in the 9-hole again for Oklahoma State. 5 for 15 in the tournament with a couple of runs batted in. And this rookie had his best game of the championship last night against UCF. 3 for 4, a double, and a couple of runs batted in.
He's been huge. I mean, Avery Ortiz, you wouldn't ordinarily throw a freshman into the fire like they have, but with Aiden Miola being out for some injuries and Tyler Wolford's missed some time, he's been thrown to the fire and has handled himself exceptionally well.
Brigham away from first with 2 outs. Swing and a miss. 1 and 2 now on Ortiz.
I guess technically you're not a freshman anymore, right, Clay? School's out. Is he a rising sophomore? Is that what we're going with?
June's right around the corner.
There you go.
So he looks more like a sophomore right now. The 1-2 pitch, that's inside. Carter Campbell pitched Thursday in relief against Kansas, got the win there. Was the winning pitcher against Oklahoma State on April the 6th in that non-conference game. Got a piece of it, and that also got a piece of Mudler. Scott Mudler buckles after taking that ball off the body.
Yep. Mudler, very important to Oklahoma. Easton Carmichael, in many ways you thought he'd be the everyday catcher, but he's such an important bat. Mudler's the superior defender, and you start thinking about the improvement Oklahoma's made from February to now. Mudler's defense has been right in the middle of that.
1 on, 2 outs. Top of the second, 1-0 Oklahoma State. And that's called strike 3. Ortiz goes down.
And he said, I always really admired his poise as well. And then yesterday I was telling Snyder about what PCA had said about him. And all of his teammates were laughing because they were like, yeah, that's the same scouting report we would give him. So you think about postseason baseball, guys, poise and power, 2 pretty good attributes in the postseason.
No doubt about it. He's got it in spades. Michael Snyder. Thanks, T-Mac. Snyder leading it off here in the bottom of the second for the Sooners. First team All Big 12, 3 for 12 in the championship with a run batted in. And he's a grad transfer from Washington. He's been a great fit with the Sooners.
Yeah, 100%. He was a very good player at Washington. It's gone next level here at Oklahoma. He's been fantastic.
He has started every game for Skip Johnson and has really taken off this year under the tutelage of Reggie Willits and Todd Butler. His hitting, like you said, has just gone to the next level. Bouncing ball to short. Forsythe throws across. 1 down here in the second. So Oklahoma.
And you still win the game fairly comfortably. It was, you know, again, Oklahoma, you don't go 23-7 in the Big 12, especially in a year when the league has been very condensed, like a lot of people taking a shot at each other. It's been hard to separate yourself in the Big 12, but OU did it big time.
This is Anthony McKenzie at the plate now, a ball and a strike, as Tommy Molsky has retired the first 4 Sooners he has faced. First and only Big 12 regular season title in program history for the Sooners. They're off to the SEC next season. This is a pretty good going away trip through the league this year.
Heck of a season for OU, heck of a run right now that they're on in baseball. But again, this is year in and year out under Skip Johnson. To me, OU is one of the teams that you see him in February and you're going to see an unfinished product. You get to May and boy, they just improve as much as anybody out there.
Well, Tommy Molsky continues to miss bats. One of his best outings all year came against the Sooners back on March the 12th in relief. He had 8 strikeouts. He's got 1 already. Make it 2. McKenzie fans for the second out here in the second.
Absolute leader on this team.
And he has had a crazy good tournament. 5 for 14, double, triple, that home run plus another one, and he has driven in 7 runs here in the Big 12 championship. 14 total bases for Nicholas.
Yeah, he's not a massive kid clearly, but very it's twitchy and explosive. He's got as much power as anybody on this roster.
Molsky rocks, fires, and that is down the line foul.
Clay, I'm going to warn you about both pitchers. Relievers are like toddlers. It's going great. It's all fine. You relax as a parent, and then you look up and somebody's got their brother or sister's hand in a socket. Like it can happen fast. So just let's stay on our toes, okay?
Well, that's a buzzkill.
I'm just telling you. There's other relievers. There's more where that came from.
We were talking to Skip Johnson about how he was going to handle his staff for this game when you and I were down on the field chewing the fat a little bit with Skip, and you know, he kind of chuckled. He goes, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah,
it's pretty much up in the air.
Stay tuned.
2-1 pitch. That's off the plate. 3-1. As 5 have been set down in a row by Tommy Molsky, Penn State transfer, in his first start of the year for Oklahoma State. So far, so good. Now full count. Oklahoma Sooners first #1 seed to make the Big 12 title game since Oklahoma State in 2014. And Molsky lost him. Sure, Skip Johnson hates to see that. A 2-out free pass to Nicholas, and that'll bring up Kendall Pettis here in the second inning.
Yeah, when you think about Oklahoma's offense, they do a lot of different things. There's certainly plenty of slug. They will run the bases very aggressively. They'll bunt, they'll hit and run. You know, Nicholas is capable of stealing a bag with 2 outs, especially with 2 strikes. The last thing you can do against Oklahoma is ignite their offense for them.
Here's Pettis, 278, 3 homers, 33 runs batted in. One of their veterans. And Molsky will throw over to check on Nicholas. Nicholas has stolen 6 this year. He's been caught 3 times. Kendall Pettis, 5th-year senior. Man, this guy has played a lot of baseball in Oklahoma colors.
And he finds another gear this time of year. It's amazing how well he's played in the postseason. And their 2022 run to the CWS Finals felt like we were seeing him on SportsCenter every night with a diving catch or a huge hit.
And now time is called. Ian Doherty is going to walk out to the pitcher's mound, and this may be our first indication that things are starting to go south for Molsky. And you kind of alluded to that. Again, it's a reliever starting here for the first time this season, and he gets 5 hitters, no problem, and now all of a sudden walks a guy, falls behind Pettis, and you just saw pitching coach Rob Walton.
Yeah, I'm sure Rob Walton and Josh Holliday, if Molsky can contribute 6 to 9 outs, they'd be thrilled with that. That'd be a perfect start to this game.
Pettis 6 for 9 this week with a couple of runs batted in the championship, also a stolen base. Oklahoma State had to win 2 games yesterday. Oklahoma had to just play 1 and won that one earlier in the day. Weak ground ball, but it's going to be a tough play for Ortiz, and he doesn't have a play. He knew that he was going to have to hurry, and it rushed him. And now 2 on with 2 out.
Yeah, and this is the type of play that Ortiz will just continue to grow through as he gains experience. Now, again, he's positioned up the middle because he's a right-handed hitter, and he gets caught peeking. I think he had him if he catches it clean.
I think so, too. They haven't scored it yet. But now you've got 2 really fast runners on base, and they're going to score that a hit. Infield hit for Pettis. And here's Scott Mudler. Mudler, the junior catcher, 3 for 10 in the championship.
Good pitch. I like that. You know, Clay, things are going a little sideways. So whatever your best pitch is, throw that. Slider for Molsky. If Mudler's going to beat you, make him beat that pitch.
Honorable mention, all Big 12 is Mudler. 277, 3 homers, 26 RBIs. Wow, now it's 0-2.
That is a tricky little pitch. It almost, you know, the traditional breaking ball has depth. You know, the hitter sees it up and then it disappears down. This one is very sweepy, and it almost, it really holds its plane. It almost has no depth.
And now time is called.
Oh.
And that's the end of the inning. Yeah, there is a
load of games against the RPI top 50. And not only that, Clay, they look the part. I mean, this club, Oklahoma State, can really pitch, and there's stars in the lineup. I really like this team.
Carson Binge, Nolan Schubert, Zach Earhart. The guy at the plate here, Lane Forsythe. I mean, there is some star power for sure. And then the pitching staff. And we've seen their frontline starters this week really shove it to the opponents. Carson Binge, of course, a 2-way star, but then Sam Garcia and Brian Holiday were excellent in their appearances.
Yeah, I mean, very few teams in college baseball right now have 3 starters where you can sleep well at night. It's usually 1 or 2, and then we're really kind of just trying to find our 3rd starter. For Oklahoma State, I mean, Holiday, Garcia, and Binge, I mean, you can set your clock to it. They've been tremendous.
Checked his swing, and he went. That's a strikeout for Carter Camp
to get to Omaha, but yeah, that's, I mean, what is that, 24 innings from your starters in a 3-game set right there? Like, that'll play. And you've got Kranz and those guys in the bullpen. This is a really good pitching staff.
This is Carson Binge, the 0-1 pitch. Ground ball. Willits, the throw, in time.
And Carson Binge, of course, a great 2-way player. We just saw him on the graphic, starting pitching and then taking an at-bat here. When you talk to his friends and family, they knew he was special from a very early age. In fact, I love his recruitment story. His older brother Garrett was getting recruited to Oklahoma State, and when Josh Holliday came to their house, all of the family members were saying, okay, yes, Garrett's awesome, but you need to pay attention to Carson. Carson was 12 at that time. Eventually, Josh was able to watch him play when he was 15 years old, and it was UConn High School Carson was playing for against Stillwater, and Josh watched one at bat and said, okay, yeah, they were right. This kid is special. Eventually recruited him, and as you guys mentioned, he has a chance to make a lot of money this summer in the MLB draft.
No doubt about it. His brother was drafted by the Red Sox a handful of years ago, and Carson Binge, future draftee as well. You can never start recruiting too early.
No, and by the way, I mean, if you believe in omens, Garrett Binge was on the Omaha team in 2016.
Nolan Schubert lines out. The walk in right. That's an 8-pitch inning for Carter. Year one of the Bearcats' inclusion in the Big 12. They won 17 regular season games in conference play. But the RPI a little high, probably on the outside looking in.
Yeah, in Cincinnati, they won their first 4 home series in the Big 12. So word got around the league very quickly. Hey, this new team, Cincinnati, you're not going to enjoy the trip there. They are very good. And, you know, same thing for Kansas. If Kansas baseball and Cincinnati baseball were stocks, people would be piling in there. Very optimistic about the future of those two programs.
Yeah, Dan Fitzgerald has it going with the Jayhawks in Lawrence for sure. Gave Oklahoma issues yesterday. This is Jason Walk, the 9-hole hitter for the Sooners, leading it off in the third against Tommy Molsky, who has given up just 1 hit so far. 1-0 Cowboys. Big 12 tournament championship game. 2-2 here to Walk, who's now in the starting lineup. Madron has been dinged up here in recent days for Oklahoma. They're trying to get him healthy in time for the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, and in the meantime, Jason Walk, who's the future of the program, gets valuable repetitions. He's a switch hitter, could play center field.
Called strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts. Going back to last inning. 4 overall for Molsky. Tell us about TCU.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the metrics are in line, right? You're in the 30s and 40 right there. For me, TCU, remember, they started the season 13-0. They're 8-0 against the Pac-12, which is kind of an oddity, but very impressive. They've got an ace in Peyton Tolley, so they've been ranked as high as top 5 in the country. Had struggled in the middle of the year, recovered nicely late. So, you know, to me, TCU is another one of those programs. The metrics line up, and they pass the eye test.
Well, they certainly had a great Big 12 tournament last year. They're the defending champions in this event. And then that momentum carried all the way to Omaha. This year, they're a bubble team, so they'll be sweating it a little bit on Monday. This is Spikerman back at the top of the order here for Oklahoma.
Any coach, Clay, that tells you he sleeps well Sunday night, that's a liar. That's what that is. I don't sleep well on Sunday night. You know, I'm not even participating, except for putting a tie on Monday.
You're doing all the arithmetic overnight.
Got friends. Friends in math places.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Spikerman, who struck out against Molsky his first time up. K-State, as we kind of touched on, they're the team probably worried the most. But they played the toughest schedule in the Big 12 this year.
Yeah, Pete Hughes played a schedule like he was mad at somebody, and he was mad at last year's committee for leaving out the Wildcats, I should say. And Kansas State was first 4 out last year, so you know your team 65 through 68. That is some serious heartbreak right there.
2-2, just missed. So now full count to Spikerman.
I think the tricky part in the league, Clay, the Big 12 was so competitive this year. You know, teams like Kansas State were 15-15 in the league. TCU was 14-16. So that's confusing, right? But I think it's representative of how strong the league was.
Well, the new team, Cincinnati, UCF, Houston, and BYU, made it for an interesting year. Next year, it's going to get even crazier with Arizona, Arizona State, and Utah coming in. This is the K-State resume at a glance. 46 is the RPI now.
Yeah, look at that. 26th strength of schedule. 26 out of 305 right there.
Called strike 3. Spikerman goes down looking. Molsky has struck out 3 Sooners in a row. 2 down.
Yeah, Tommy Molsky, if he glares up at us, Clay, I'm going to have to wear it because he is not enjoying me chipping away at relievers. That is a fastball that starts off the plate in and ends up on the black of the plate. That is vicious.
This is Molsky's second appearance of the tournament. And he wasn't sharp in the first one. 2/3 of an inning Wednesday night against Texas Tech. He walked 2, gave up a hit, and he wasn't in there very long. But He seems to be dialed in for this Big 12 championship here tonight.
Yeah, that fastball's hot. 94 running in on right-handed hitters, and the slider is running away from him. So it's a lot to process for a hitter.
Gets ahead of Carmichael, and now it's 0-2 to the DH.
We're just not seeing comfortable swings, Clay. I mean, Molsky's got them tied up.
Over 600 strikeouts for the Oklahoma State pitching staff this year. Third year in a row they've accomplished that. Prior to that, in the entire history of Cowboys baseball, they'd never had a 600 strikeout season, which doesn't seem possible. But it's again a testament to the job that Rob Walton has done in recent years with some really talented arms.
Yeah, and in Oklahoma State, there's Coach Walton, one of the best pitching guys out there. Former head coach, by the way, Oral Roberts. You know, the thing about Oklahoma State is, you know, when you have Pete Incaviglia, who's the Babe Ruth of college baseball, and you have Robin Ventura, who's the Joe DiMaggio of college baseball, you kind of just gloss past the pitching.
Got him. Boy, you are right. Tied up is the word.
A little bit. Well, at the time Kershaw was in high school, was mainly a fastball curveball guy, but his curveball wasn't great, and so Skip was instrumental in helping him throw his curveball, and he taught him to do so with a hockey puck. And from there, Kershaw drafted by the Dodgers. We all know what's happened. And you think about Kershaw's career, the reason he's a future Hall of Famer is because he added a slider. He didn't add a slider until he was in pro ball, and has since worked with Skip on his curveball, his changeup, his slider, and his fastball. They talk every 3 to 4 months in the offseason. That photo we just showed you, Kershaw will still come train with Skip, and even if he's in the big leagues struggling with something, he'll send Skip video and say, hey, what are you seeing on this? And so they still go back and forth. So if you need any explanation of why he's one of the best, just look at Clayton Kershaw, because that guy's had a pretty nice career.
Boy, sure has, and Skip deserves some credit for that, for sure.
You can imagine the credibility with the players. That, you know, a pitcher gets counsel from Skip Johnson. It's like, I don't love what he just said, but Clayton Kershaw listens to this guy, so maybe I should listen to him.
Earhart rips it foul just wide of the bag at third. It's Earhart, Wolford, and Ritchie here for Oklahoma State in the fourth, leading 1-0 in the Big 12 championship game. Both starters still in there. This is Carter Campbell on the mound for Oklahoma. Veteran reliever. 91st career appearance. That's third all time at Oklahoma. 5 shy of a record. But most of that has been relief duty. Called on to start today, and so far doing a heck of a job.
Yeah, and the OU's relievers are unique. There's a lot of different looks. It's not your standard, hey, you've got 5 or 6 guys that are throwing mid-90s, but there's it's a very experienced group, and there's a calmness. So, you know, obviously you'd prefer to be just throwing a regular starting pitcher, but I could see where OU's relief corps, Skip Johnson, would be just fine with them on the front end.
Struck him out. Third strikeout for Campbell, and Earhart is done in the fourth.
Campbell's got those 3 pitches that anywhere from 89 miles an hour to 90 miles an hour, and the hitters are just a little amped up. You know, there's still some tension in this game. There's a lot going on. It's a pretty electric atmosphere, and so the hitter's just not quite settled in yet.
Wolford a ground out to third, his first and only time up. Oklahoma State has made 10 straight NCAA tournaments, and that streak is going to continue this year. Josh Holliday has done wonderful work too. We've been talking about Skip Johnson, but his counterpart tonight has led the 4th longest current streak of making national tournaments. Only Vanderbilt, Florida, and LSU have longer streaks of NCAA tournament appearances currently going.
Again, like there's 300 Division I teams, and Oklahoma State's streak of 10 straight regionals, that's 4th in the country. It's so hard to do that in today's day and age in college baseball.
Tyler Wolford making a bid down the line, but foul. Wolford back at third base for this game for Oklahoma State. We talked about him being plagued by injuries this year. Missed 18 games with a hamate injury in March, but has come back from it. And that hamate bone, that's a tough bone to heal.
Yeah, and then, you know, you're trying to catch up on at bats and repetitions and your timing and how you're seeing the baseball. So the hamate injuries are interesting because guys rarely miss the whole season, but you almost never see them. They're chasing it the whole season, it feels like.
2-2 pitch, foul ball.
That might be the one mistake Campbell's made that Wolford just missed.
Two. And now full count for Wolford.
I think when you watch Wolford hit, the first thing you notice is the mustache. It was the first thing I noticed. So I was asking him today during batting practice, is this a new phenomenon? And it's something a bunch of the Oklahoma State players decided to do before the season. But I think Tyler's has come in the best. What do you guys think?
I mean, yes.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Campbell. Do you want my honest opinion, or do you want me to just kind of lie a little bit?
Clay, that's California Highway Patrol level
yes,
mustache
I was going to say.
there. Like, that's.
I don't know that it's a great look. Works for him, I guess.
I think it's amazing.
I'm not a big mustache guy.
Yes, I think it's amazing. I want to encourage all college baseball players to do that, please. It's amazing.
Now, if he played for Skip Johnson, I don't think that would fly. As Colin Ritchie comes up.
Skip's got more of the Yankees thing going.
Yeah, he's got some standards that he asks players to abide by.
I mean, I believe in standards, but like, I want the whole thing this time of year, Clay. I want bleached hair. I want mustaches. Let's get weird. Let's. It's the postseason. You guys grow beards in hockey? Come on, Clay.
Ritchie checks. They appeal. No. But look at the contrast. You look at that Oklahoma State dugout. You look at the Sooners dugout. It's kind of like the Yankees against the Oakland A's mid-70s.
Oh, good call. Neither's right or wrong. It just, you know.
No, it's just a different style. Called strike 3. Wow. Campbell strikes out the side in the 4th.
I was talking to Skip about his son, and he said he's never been more proud than when his team won regionals this year, and then eventually advanced to the Junior College World Series. I mean, just think about a coach who raised his kids around this game, and now his son is having success again amongst a game that they all love.
Yeah. Proud papa for sure. Sooners hitting here in the bottom of the 4th, down a run. It's Willits, Snyder, and McKenzie, 3, 4, and 5 for Oklahoma. Willits flew out to center his first time up against Molsky, who is now pitching in the 4th inning in his first start of the year. Keeps throwing strikes. That's the main thing. 1 walk for Molsky so far, 6 strikeouts. And there is Coach Willits. Reggie is Jackson's father, and Reggie, of course, a former big leaguer, former Oklahoma Sooner player. A lot of family ties on both of these rosters.
Yeah, the Holidays are the first family of amateur, or really of baseball right now, and then you get the Willits. By the way, Jackson's younger brother Eli, class of 2025, first-round pick. It seems like it's just the family ties. To your point, Coach Holliday. You know, obviously his brother's Matt Holliday, his nephew is Jackson Holliday. So many ties.
Did he do it again? Yes, he did. That's another strikeout. 5 in a row struck out by Molsky.
Clay, I got a lot of K's in my scorebook tonight. I wasn't expecting this, but Molsky's stuff is just, you can see why he's a heck of a reliever. The fastball is hot. It's got a lot of life. Slider comes out of the same slot like Skip Johnson told us, and you've got 2 pitches at big velocities traveling in different directions.
Just 1 hit allowed. He struck out 5 in a row. Here's the line drive. And it's going to get down in front of Schubert for a base hit for Michael Snyder. Fourth hit of the championship for Snyder. And he was one of the guys that had to get a haircut when he transferred from Washington. Skip made him cut it.
You look at this Oklahoma offense, 4 switch hitters. Mackenzie, one of them stepping into the batter's box right here. And I was talking with Spikerman before the game, asking him, is there anybody who's ever discouraged you from switch hitting because you just don't see it that often anymore? And he said, well, look at the guy who is in charge of our offense, Reggie Willits. He was a really good switch hitter at the major league level. So he's been so impactful on encouraging guys to stick with it and also giving some tips along the way. And it's worked for this team. Again, one of the best offenses in the country and certainly tops of the Big 12 this season.
Yeah, Mackenzie's been a good fit. A transfer from Sam Houston, second year at Oklahoma, and he has anchored third base this season.
And that encouragement's the right word, because it is so easy to give up on switch hitting. I think that's where Reggie Willits, New York Yankees, MLB background comes into play.
Good block by Doherty. Doherty's done a nice job there too, because as you talked about, Molsky has some life on those pitches that are finding the dirt but are still strikes.
Yeah, I mean, it's the old adage, if it's hard to hit, it's hard to catch, right? And Molsky, there's a lot of life on both pitches. You've got to be willing to block that slider up.
Snyder away from first. Mackenzie with a hitter's count, and he fouls it off on the hit and run. Yeah, Snyder got a pretty good jump on that.
Snyder is so interesting to me. He was not one of the prizes of the portal last summer, I should say, and he should have been. I mean, the numbers he's put up is mind-boggling. 23 doubles. He's a big man. He's got 15 stolen bases. He's 6'4", 215 pounds or so.
He's only been thrown out once. Let's see if Molsky throws over, and he does.
I'm going to pick on relievers again, Clay. They're often not great at holding runners. It's just not part of their MO, right? Their MO is come in, throw it as hard as you can, grip it and rip it for 3 outs, and then take a shower.
2-1 to Mackenzie. Strike, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mackenzie, as Taylor McGregor alluded to, one of the 6 regulars in this lineup, hitting over 300. It's such a long lineup. You've got so many guys that can produce from 1 to 9. Leaning a little bit, and that was a close play at first.
Yeah, you've got to pick. You just cannot ignore runners against Oklahoma. Everybody's a threat to steal. You're right. There was a little flinch piece right there. To your point, Clay, Oklahoma's offense is not your standard. Okay, here are your table setters. Here's your run producers. It's just like offense 1 through 9. They can start offense from anywhere in this lineup.
And again, one of their regulars, one of their best hitters, Bryce Madron, out of the lineup right now. He's dealing with a minor quad injury. They gave him an at-bat yesterday, but they're being careful with him. They want him completely healthy for the national tournament, which starts on Friday.
Yeah, Madron's so important. Madron's one of my favorite players. 5'8" left-handed hitter who is an absolute stat machine, who give you home runs and doubles and stolen bases. Tremendous player.
Runner goes 2-2. Here comes the throw from Doherty, and it's not going to be there in time. Stolen base for Snyder. But the 8th strikeout as he gets Mackenzie at home plate. Molsky, 2 strikeouts in the inning.
Yeah, he just locked up Mackenzie. It's a nice effort by Forsythe right there to pick it. If it's on the other side of the base, maybe he's got a chance. Ken Clay, Snyder is listed at 6'3".
Walk in the second. The comebacker, Molsky's going to say thank you very much, and Oklahoma State gets off the field. Snyder is stranded. We have played 4. Cowboys 1, Sooners nothing in the Big 12 title game. That's a line drive. Could be extra bases for Doherty. He'll round first and stop there. Well, junior left-hander Braden Davis is Oklahoma's Friday night ace. Over 100 strikeouts this year, at a complete game shutout against TCU in game 1 of the championship.
Yeah, this has been a separator for Oklahoma. Braden Davis was a closer at Sam Houston and has come to the Big 12 and just been a tremendous Friday night ace. It's stuff and pitchability, Braden Davis.
Oklahoma pitching has been pretty salty this year as well, with Davis leading the way. Of course, Skip has done a wonderful job with the pitching staff. Their sophomore right-hander Kyson Witherspoon has been their #2 starter, as this one is tagged by Brigham and down the line and off the wall. The throw to second is a good one, and Briggerman is in with a double. Jackson Willits wants a review. Man, Briggerman hit that on a rope.
Yeah, you're going to give a hitter of his size a lot of leash to run through some good times and some bad times. Look at the leverage in this swing. Catches it out front. You know, the only reason we're doing a review, Clay, is because he hit it too hard. If Willits had kept the tag on him, I think he's going to get an out call. But I do believe Briggerman beat him. He beat the throw to the base, but he came off the base.
Second hit of the championship for Colin Briggerman. He's been on twice tonight. Here's another look.
So we're safe here. Ooh. I don't know. Oh, look at that knee right there.
Chris Koski, our second base umpire, looking right at it, called him safe.
Yeah, if Willits had kept the tag on him, I think maybe he gets this call. Because now the left knee ends up on the base too.
Yeah, he's safe.
Good call.
2 on, nobody out for Oklahoma State. And now some stirring in that Oklahoma bullpen.
I'll tell you, Clay, both these teams are really built for the postseason. There's just this game's tense. There's a real tension in this game. Both teams easy peasy. There's a real calmness here. And if you're going to succeed in the NCAA tournament, you have to have the mental fortitude to deal with some ups and downs.
Dylan Crooks, a junior right-hander, is posturing to get loose out there in the Sooners pen. This is Avery Ortiz, the 9-hole hitter. Went down looking against Campbell back in the second. That's in the dirt, blocked by Mudlin.
You know, think about this order, where you are in the order right now, Clay. You know, Ortiz, a freshman 9-hole hitter. Forsythe is an elite defender at shortstop, but I think of him, he's a defense over offense guy. Whatever he gives you offensively is a bonus because he's such an elite shortstop. I don't know that I love a squeeze here. I think even though where we are in the order might say that, I think I like letting the guys swing.
Now time called.
In only 2 walks in 26 innings, but 17 strikeouts. That's a little low. I'm telling you, Clay, the stuff is better than you think. Crooks was up to 94 the other day earlier in this tournament, and it's a devastating changeup. So more fastball changeup as a right-handed pitcher, but really good stuff.
Avery Ortiz at the plate for Oklahoma State. Struck out against Campbell. He's 0 for 1. Doherty at third, Briggerman at second. Back-to-back hits for the Pokes here in the 5th. They have 1 run on 4 hits. No runs, 2 hits for Oklahoma in this Big 12 title game.
If you're Ortiz, you got to be ready to hit early in the count. Crooks, it's good stuff.
Line drive and foul. About 2 feet.
How about that? That's the changeup too. Again, I know Ortiz is a freshman, but he's talented and he's gotten a lot of reps this year. You grow up fast in this league.
Line drive out to center, and Spikerman's going to make the catch. Doherty tags, he'll score. Into third is Brigham. That's a sack for Ortiz, and it's 2-0 Cowboys. That's a big run here in the 5th inning.
Yep, with 2 strikes. That's good offense right there. Just use the whole field, prevent the strikeout. And I'll tell you, Clay, it's been a very well pitched game. It's been a very well played game. Just really sound fundamental baseball for both clubs.
So Josh Holliday's team makes it 2-0 as the lineup gets back to the top, and Lane Forsythe, who's 1 for 2 with a base hit, back in the 1st. This guy has been an excellent addition, Mike Rooney, out of the transfer portal. We've talked about that a couple of times here tonight. Came in from Mississippi State. Guy that's got College World Series experience. That's going to be a tough play for Nicholas. Not in time, and another run scores. Boy, that was going to be a very difficult play for Nicholas, but then when you include the speed of Forsythe, almost impossible.
Everything about this play, Clay. I love Forsythe being ready to go first pitch, and look at the dead sprint from the jump, sniffing that hit, smelling it. Everything about that, Clay. Use the backside of the field, use the middle of the field with the runner in scoring position. Gosh, that's good baseball.
And how about Nicholas making that kind of close?
Yeah, not an easy play.
First pitch swinging here is Carson Binge. It's been a quiet game so far at the plate for Binge by his standards.
Yep.
Fielder's choice, and scored on a sac fly in the 1st, and then he grounded out to short early in the count in the 3rd inning.
He can be streaky. You'll see his swing. There's a lot to the operation. There's a lot going on here. But man, do not sleep on this guy.
Ground ball, another one through the 4-hole. Base hit for Binge. To 3rd goes Forsythe. Runners at the corners, and just 1 out for Oklahoma State. Making a lot of noise here in the 5th inning.
Yeah, how about Forsythe going 1st to 3rd? You know, Crooks has been excellent in this tournament. That's not as hard as Binge usually hits the baseball, but sometimes baseball's going to baseball, and Forsythe going 1st to 3rd, very impressive.
Will Karsten, another right-hander, is loosening up for Oklahoma as Scott Mudler goes through the signs. Dylan Crooks looking to shoot a double play ball here. But I tell you what, I don't know that there's a more discerning eye in this Big 12 conference than Nolan Schubert. He's a tough guy to get out. He has walked 6 times here in the championship.
Yeah, we talk about Oklahoma's base running, but look at Lane Forsythe right here. Used his athleticism to get himself a single, and then goes 1st to 3rd. Good offense.
Swing and a miss by Schubert, who is 1 for 2 tonight with a double. He's got 10 hits in 20 at-bats here in Arlington.
Every time Schubert swings, the opposing pitching coaches hold their breath.
1-2.
I think Carson Binge might be looking to run here, keep Oklahoma State out of the double play, and you got to believe Schubert's going to see another changeup, which will be a good pitch to run on.
Binge does not run. Popped up. Left side. Third baseman McKenzie calling for it. He's got it. And they're 2 down. That's a big break for Dylan Crooks.
Yeah, Skip Johnson calling pitches for OU. I'm sure he is thrilled to see Nolan Schubert running back to the dugout. That is uncomfortable.
You mentioned that Schubert should be a high draft next year. Here's Earhart. Earhart, an RBI, sack fly, and a strikeout. Earhart hit .404 against the Big 12 this season. And 9 of his homers have come against Big 12 pitching rooms.
Yep. Earhart is every championship team's got a Zach Earhart, where just big energy, very aggressive, very vocal. This is a big moment in this game right here.
2 runs in for Oklahoma State.
Good take. I think, Clay, if you're Earhart, you've got to be thinking right center field. Crooks, that changeup's very tricky. Get you out in front. If he beats you in, he beats you in. I think Earhart's thinking middle of the field here.
Crooks pitch. That's outside. 2-1. So the Sooners have had to go to the bullpen here in the 5th inning. Meanwhile, Tommy Molsky, the starter for Oklahoma State, still in the ballgame as of now.
Good take. Oh boy, that's a good pitch. 2-1. Throw that changeup down, try to get somebody fishing, and Earhart not bite. That is, I like the pitch from Crooks. If Earhart offers, this is swing and miss.
Runners at the corners, 2 outs. The 3-1 from Crooks. Foul back. Earhart has a streak of reaching in 17 straight. Hasn't been on yet tonight. The payoff pitch. Walked him, and the ball gets away from Mudler. Forsythe scores easily. And it's now 4-0 Cowboys.
Crooks showing some respect. His best secondary pitch is the changeup, but maybe felt like Earhart was onto it. So it's 3-2 slider. Yeah, that's slider, and Mudler can't do anything with it. So a great at bat by Zach Earhart, and Oklahoma State really on point right now.
Well, the Cowboys have had really good luck against the Sooners this year. They won 3 of the 4 meetings during the regular year, 2 of 3 in Stillwater in April. Also beat OU in the non-conference game in March. And so far it's going well here in the Big 12 championship. As Wolford stands in 0 for 2. Swing and a miss. And you got to believe that Josh Holliday, the players, they've all thought about this. We cannot let our biggest rival win the Big 12 title when they're heading to the SEC next year.
Yeah, I think you could have stopped your sentence at we can't let Oklahoma do anything, period.
Knocked down.
I think that's what happens in a game like this, Clay, is, you know, everybody says, well, it's, you know, we're more focused on the NC tournament and we know where our spot is locked up and we're going to manage pitching, and then you get in the game and it's your rival. It's a big league stadium, and next thing you know, it's like, you know what? I'm pinning my ears back and I'm going for this dang thing.
Crooks sets. Popped up behind home plate. Mudler giving it a look, but it's going to get out. Boy, there have been some great battles over the years in Bedlam. The series began in 1947. This is the first time they're meeting in the Big 12 championship game. Final scheduled game as Big 12 opponents. And as I said, Oklahoma State has won 3 of 4 this year.
2 awesome college baseball programs.
1-2. Wolford battling. Tyler.
I'm sorry, Clay. He's fighting it. You can see he's trying to. He's a guy that Oklahoma State's trying to get going.
Known to put the ball in play. Really doesn't strike out a lot, but he has Gone down swinging once. That was against Campbell. First time facing Crooks. Hit hard to center. Backing off is Spikerman, but he'll get there. And he tracks it for the third out.
But guys, early in the inning, Ian did a great job of getting aggressive and lining the ball to left, and then Brugge smacking that ball off the wall, just safe under the tag, really put us in a good spot. And then Avery probably made the inning work with the deep fly ball that way to advance the runner to third, get a guy home, and then Lane with a really good piece of hitting to score the next one, and obviously a little bit of help there with the wild pitch. So we'll take it. We needed to do something. We've been a little stagnant in those middle innings.
They always say that the momentum of baseball begins with that day's starting pitcher. What have your guys all season long done with just that?
Well, I think one of the things this team has been incredibly lucky to have is consistency in the rotation, and guys that go start the games give us tremendous confidence. So you never get any type of extended streaks where you don't feel good about your chances. So the morale of the team stays up. The opportunity to pitch quality games all through the week has been there really from start to finish for our team. Allows other people to relax and kind of find their roles as the game goes along.
Obviously, it's still more postseason baseball ahead for you after today, and they say experience wins in postseason play. How can a game like this impact this group collectively as you look forward to the next few weeks?
Well, it's super important. I mean, Tommy's getting an unbelievable chance to start a game right here in a championship setting. He's been a great length reliever for us all year, so most of his touches have been out of the bullpen for 40 or 50 pitches, and now here he is getting a chance to start a game and laying down 75, 80 great pitches in a starting rotation opportunity. So who knows what the next couple weeks may hold for our team, but one thing's for sure, he'll be more prepared in case we need him to start.
Okay, be real for me for a second. Some of your players said this is just another game, but facing Oklahoma, it means something different, does it not?
Well, I mean, it does, and we know that, but I think one of the things you're trying to maintain is the focus on playing just like you have been, because they've found a really good rhythm, a relaxation, if you will, where the environment is not impacting the way we play. And if we can just stay in that mode and play one pitch at a time, we'll be in good shape.
That's why you're in charge of this job. Appreciate the time, Coach. Clay.
Josh Taylor, thank you very much. Kendall Pettis takes one off the shoulder from Molsky. So the leadoff man is on here for the Sooners, but you know they touched on starting pitching as Rob.
He said, "This is as good as you've thrown all year. So it's one pitch, got away. Keep doing your thing, man."
Now he's got a pitch from the stretch with Pettis at first. 10 stolen bases on the year, and 57 in his career. And the Oklahoma State scouting report has that highlighted. Just great speed from Pettis.
Yeah, and Oklahoma's an offense where they're dangerous enough as it is without getting a leadoff hitter on base. So this is a tough inning for Molsky for sure. Wow.
Buries a strike there to Mudler, who was called out at the plate because of a batter's box violation. Stood out of the box, and he was called out because he didn't get back in time.
Yeah, and we you know, it's year 2 of the pitch clock in college baseball, so you just rarely see that. The players have done an awesome job adjusting to that new rule that we have.
Scott Mudler, JUCO transfer from Northwest Florida State College, came in with the Witherspoon twins, who've been a big addition to the pitching staff for Oklahoma.
Yeah, I mean, Keisinger's Saturday starter, and he's tremendous, up to 95 with a wicked slider, and Malachi in the bullpen, and Mudler's an excellent defender. That was a good recruiting trip.
No doubt. 3 for 1.
JUCO players, it's been a great history of JUCO guys succeeding in the Big 12. JUCO bandits, if you will, Clay.
Yeah. And Mudler, honorable mention, all Big 12 in his first year in this league. The 0-1, this is hit to right, not very deep. Binge has to charge in, he'll make the catch. Pettis will dive back to first base. So 1 down here in the 5th inning with Jason Walk coming to the plate.
Carson Binge looking at Kendall Pettis, and they've played plenty of baseball games together, or against each other, I should say. And Carson Binge plays with a lot of flair and style, just plays with a lot of joy. But you could see trying to bait Kendall Pettis into something. Remember that is a weekend starter. That's a bazooka out there. Pettis a little too smart for that, Clay.
Greg Swindell the last few days in regard to Carson Bench says he plays like he doesn't care.
Yeah. So joyous. It's so fun. And I think that's one of the cool things about Oklahoma State is Nolan Schubert is kind of a slow heartbeat guy. Carson Bench is just super loose and chill. Zach Earhart is like a Tasmanian devil.
Yes,
they've got a nice mix of different personalities on this roster.
Their throw over to first. As Oklahoma State has a comfortable 4-0 lead. Comfortable to the casual observer, but in this rivalry, this game could turn on a dime. Cowboys know it. Strike.
Yeah, long way to go, Clay, but the consistency of the Oklahoma State program is striking. They're going to host a regional for the 3rd straight year. They're in the Big 12 championship game for the 2nd straight year. I mean, the 10 straight regionals, you can set your clock to it. Oklahoma State's going to be good.
They won 10 of the, or of the 10 Big 12 series, I should say. They won 7, including against the Sooners. And 10 and 12 against quad 1 opponents. That includes beating Arkansas here back in February. And kind of could tell right at that point it's going to be another good year for Oklahoma State. As Arkansas has had a banner year.
Yeah, I mean, the highest compliment I could give Oklahoma State baseball is every year, you know, the names are going to change, but you know they're going to be good. And whatever you see out of them in February, they're going to be better in May.
That's going to get into left field for a base hit. Opposite field single for Jason Walk. 2 on, 1 out, back to the top of the order for Oklahoma.
Jason Walk just hiding down there at the bottom of the order, switch hitter. We're going to wake up in a couple years, Clay, and he's going to be playing center field, hitting first, and just a real engine starter at the top of this lineup.
I told you that he's in the lineup because of Madron being out. Bryce Madron dealing with a quad injury, but Rocco Gongora, is also not here tonight. He's back at the hotel with the flu. So there's some opportunities for other guys like Walk, and he's aboard here along with Pettis for Spikerman, who has struck out twice tonight against Molsky. 3rd time around now for the Sooners against Molsky. Let's see what adjustments are being made.
Good pitch. How about, I mean, Molsky has made great adjustments. He starts to get on his heels a little bit, and then Spikerman comes up, who's scary, and it's slider for a strike, fastball for a strike. Really good pitch-to-pitch adjustments.
Pettis at second, Walk at first. This is hit to left center. That's going to be a base hit. Pettis will score easily. Walk is going to be held up at third by Russell Raley. RBI double for John Spikerman. And Oklahoma's on the board.
And that's the first real mistake Molsky's made. 0-2, he's in good shape, and this is a cookie. That's just elevated and middle away. Spikerman in a really good 2-strike approach. Watch Earhart track this down. If you told me Jason Walk's not scoring on a double, I wouldn't have believed it, but that's because Zach Earhart did such a good job.
And Rob Walton is making his way to the mound again here at Globe Davis. Giant of a human being.
Yeah, 96 right out of the chute, and Carmichael knowing it. Carmichael can really hit a fastball, and he's tardy on that. So this is a fun matchup. I really like them bringing in Gabe Davis with a base open. So, you know, if he does take him a second to find his rhythm and control, a walk's not going to kill you right here.
Carmichael leads the Big 12 with 83 hits. He's 0 for 2 in this one. Was off speed and inside. 1-1 to Easton Carmichael. Hit .406 with 5 homers in Big 12 regular season play. Big hit here could tie it up. Fly ball, right field. Binge has a cannon. makes the catch. Runner tags. Here comes Walk, and he's in. And hustling to third is Spikerman. And Oklahoma has cut State's lead in half.
Oh, Clay, not that we're rooting for safer out, but we're rooting for just baseball to happen. And watch Binge just double clutch. He's like he couldn't get a grip. Yeah, just. Oh, dang it. That would have been, I mean, Walk can fly, Binge can throw. That would have been super fun.
Yeah, you can tell that Binge is a little disappointed with how that played out. So 2 outs for Jackson Willits. He'll swing at the first pitch and pull it foul. Willits has had an excellent tournament. Quiet tonight, though, 0 for 2.
Yeah, Jackson Willits has blossomed the second half of the year. Early in the year, he's hitting 7th, 8th, 9th. You know, was struggling pretty significantly. But, you know, true freshman shortstop, that's a lot on your plate.
He's got more power than his dad had.
Yeah, Reggie was like your classic leadoff hitter, you know, like pest runner. Jackson is built like a high school running back.
Pitches inside. Willits, as we've documented, is a switch hitter. He really got hot runs during the Bedlam series back in April. Hit 3 homers in Stillwater. And all of his home runs, all 10 of them, have come since then.
How about that?
2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. 2-2. 96.
Got 3-hole hitter in the future written all over him.
Long inning here for Oklahoma State, just trying to get off the field with the lead intact. Came in with a 4-0 lead. Oklahoma has played it too, and it all started with a hit by pitch. Kendall Pettis taking one off the shoulder from Molsky.
You can see Davis is trying to go up there, trying to get above the hands. Deep breath by Willits. Again, these conference championship games, Clay, they just suck you in. You want to be getting focused for the regionals, and you can't. The game at hand is, you can't resist it.
Runner goes. And Davis hopped off the rubber and was ready to make a throw, but Wolfert was way behind the bag. And the Oklahoma fans want to balk. I think Davis played that right.
Let's see. Yeah, he stepped off. That's an absolutely right play. Well done, Gabe Davis.
And he gets the strikeout. Gabe Davis.
Penn going back from her. Penn was 2-0 in the Auburn regional last year. Hashtag Quake Show. Powered by Wawa. If you know, you know.
High Point, Northern Kentucky, Niagara. They will all be in the national tournament for the first time. Congratulations to those programs. This is Colin Ritchie leading it off for Oklahoma State, as their lead has shrunk to 2 after getting ahead 4-0. Ritchie is 0 for 2 with a strikeout looking against Carter Campbell. This is Dylan Crooks, pardon me, who came on in relief last inning.
He's fun. Crooks is 49% changeups, 41% fastball. So just one of those unique relievers.
Has a knack for keeping hitters off balance, keeping them guessing. This one hit sharply to left. Kendall Pettis covers a lot of ground. He'll get over and make the catch for the first out here of the Oklahoma State 6th inning. You know, we were talking about Oklahoma pitching runs. Braden Davis, their ace on Friday. Kyson Witherspoon, their number 2 starter. The number 3 starter has been a little bit of a moving target. So, you know, you got to wonder if this isn't a bit of an audition this week here in Arlington for who's going to get the ball, maybe even to start that first game in the regionals next week.
Yeah, Brendan Girton has been a guy that has had some moments as a 3rd starter. What's interesting for Skip Johnson, he's got a really good bullpen, and it's a deep bullpen, so he can pull one of those pieces. You know, I don't know. I mean, Carter Campbell, it would be really hard to not consider him as a 3rd starter. That was super impressive today.
Another guy that might be considered Grant Stevens.
Oh, he was excellent this tournament. Former Friday night arm at Pacific in the Big West.
Doherty's 1 for 2. Single and a run scored in the 5th inning. Doherty became the primary catcher after a season-ending injury to Bo Sylvester, just 5 games into the year, and has done a really good job. We've seen Charlie Carter do quite a bit of catching throughout the year too, as he did last night in the semifinals against UCF to get Oklahoma State here. But Doherty, he's their primary guy behind the plate.
Yep. Again, anytime you've got a really good ERA, you've got a really good catcher.
This one is pulled. It's 2-2.
I thought Doherty did a really good job last inning. You know, Gabe Davis came in the game a little uncertain. It was tense. And then Davis does a really good job controlling Spikerman at third base and rips that beautiful changeup to end the inning. You could just see Doherty coaching him through that with that good body language he's got back there.
2-2 pitch. Popped up. Mask is off. Mugler's under it, and they're 2 down. Boy, that's textbook catching right there, speaking of catching.
2 good catchers in this game.
This is never an easy play, but he made it look routine.
I like it when catchers throw their mask at the third baseman who's kind of like creeping up on them there. Oh, he threw it at the pitcher. That's a good play too. Get the pitchers out of there. No offense.
Of course,
let the athletes work, Clay.
One of the great catchers of all time, and when you think catching, this is the guy that I immediately think of. Johnny Bench, Oklahoma native.
Yeah, that's right.
This is Colin Briggeman, who almost put a hole in the right field wall with his double in the 5th inning. He hit it so hard.
Yeah, just about knocked the fence down.
Came around to score last inning and showing signs of coming out of what has been a mini slump. That's up and in, nearly hit him. Briggeman was 1 for 15 coming into this game, but walked his first time up and then hit that double last inning.
Good take.
Johnny Bench. Mickey Mantle, of course, is from Oklahoma. Just some great stars.
Yeah, it really is. And that's another reason why this game's important, because these 2 programs are recruiting over a really good, really a hotbed for high school talent.
This is going to get out of play. So Oklahoma
Even be on the ballot for that, Clay. I don't know if that's one of the criteria, but
Jackson Willits makes the catch. Briggeman is out. Oklahoma State is done 1-2-3 in the
box of college baseball games during the NCAA tournament. We all know that, Clay.
Okay. Well, Greg Swindell, who we affectionately call Zeke, he and I worked the games this week here at the Big 12 Championship, and he was Googling quadratic. He wanted to understand that term a little better.
Oh, gosh.
I think he's got it down now.
We have great hosts on that show. Chris Budden and Matt Chick do a great job, as Chris Burke and I completely lose our minds watching the NCAA tournament, and the play never disappoints.
Michael Snyder leading it off here for the Sooners against Gabe Davis, who came on last inning. It's the best place to watch the entire tournament in one setting.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, now that we're in this world of multiple devices, it's perfect. It's, you know, just we're gonna go everywhere, wherever the action takes us. It is so fun.
Snyder off the end of the bat. This could be a tough play. Davis. It's Snyder going by. You know, it is Bedlam, so you got to watch for chippiness. Didn't see any sign of it there.
Michael Snyder smiled, and that makes me smile. You know, like, just diffuse it right away. He's played a lot of big-time college baseball. Ironically, Michael Snyder and Washington were in the Stillwater Regional last year, and were finalists in that. But yeah, things are going to happen. Little mini kerfuffles.
That was clean.
Oh wow! Uh-oh, Clay.
They must not know each other.
They don't seem like they're enjoying. Yikes. Hashtag awkward.
That must just be happenstance. His ticket put him there, and that guy's ticket put him there.
Gosh, do we need to get a counselor in there, Clay? That feels. Somebody go in there and diffuse that. Let's buy a soda for both of them. Let's get ahead of it.
This is Anthony McKenzie now, a strikeout victim in the second. Happened again in the fourth, that time looking. First time facing Davis. He came in and got 2 quick outs. Get the Cowboys off the field in the fifth with the lead intact. Liner to Forsythe, and McKenzie is out quickly, 2 down.
I'll tell you, Clay, regardless of result, Oklahoma State's had some real heartbreak in the last couple postseasons. They lost a home regional in 2022, an epic, the Stillwater Regional to Arkansas. That went to Game 7. It was a famous regional. Last year, obviously, Oral Roberts famously won the Stillwater Regional. They lost this title game last year. You know, in no way does that tell you, oh, Oklahoma State can't win games like that. That's not the case. Sometimes you just run into another team that makes one more play or wins one more pitch. This team, though, I'm just telling you, Clay, like the pitching, the rotation, there's a calmness to this Oklahoma State team that I really like as you head into the postseason.
They're seeking their 4th Big 12 tournament championship, their first since 2019. As Nicholas is behind 0-2, an off-speed pitch from Davis. And Nicholas out in front. The shift is on as the Cowboys maneuver here against the little Golden Bear. Distant relation.
See what you did there
to Jack Nicklaus. The 0-2. Woo! Strike 3. Gabe Davis. Strikeout and an RBI sac fly. Dylan Crooks gets a pop-up on the infield. The pitcher is going to be called off by the first baseman. Michael Snyder makes the catch. You know, and pitchers, they say they're athletes too, and there's all that momentum coming off the mound, and you're inclined to say, I've got it, I can do the job, but that was the right play right there.
Yeah, if you're an infielder, you can get there. You just so much easier. But I will say, Clay, like I'm all for pitchers catching pop-ups. They can clearly do that. What drives me batty is when you've got your middle infielders sitting right behind you, and there's a ground ball hit to them, and you deflect it. Because I don't know, you're trying to make a circus play. So I don't want to get on a tangent here, but let the athletes work is always a good course of action.
Good motto.
Yeah, I think so. And I get it. Some, you know, like our good friend Greg Sundell, you know, excellent athlete. Maybe I'm not talking about him, just his peers.
We know he's watching tonight. He looks very comfortable.
Yes, enjoying the game.
Back to the top of the order in Forsythe, and he pops it up. This is going to spin back out of play. Forsythe has a couple of base hits in this ball game for Oklahoma State. Had a single in the first, and then an RBI infield single in the 5th inning. And again, Forsythe came to Oklahoma State from Mississippi State. He was on that national championship team. Was the starting shortstop as a freshman in 2021. Yeah,
I mean, Lane Forsythe, like some of the core guys for Oklahoma, he has seen the very highest level of college baseball.
Pitches inside 1-2 here to the leadoff man with Carson Binge on deck. As Oklahoma State started with a 4-0 lead, it's now 4-2. Ground ball and foul.
Clay, this game has such an oh my goodness, you see that play? This game has such an NCAA tournament feel to it, because you look across the diamond, you're thinking, you know what, fellas, that team over there is really good too, and it's just going to come down to who makes more plays, who wins more pitches.
And a 2 to Forsythe. Mark Ginther is the third base coach for Oklahoma State. This is just moments ago.
Coach Ginther, I see you. Come on now. Come on, making plays. Who's ready for the postseason? Coach Ginther is.
Ground ball. It's going to be a tough play. Knocked down by McKenzie, but won't have a throw. And now he's holding his shoulder. Boy, and the Sooners hope they just didn't lose their third baseman. McKenzie with a great effort to keep that from getting into left field, but did he injure himself on the play? Let's get Johnson holding his breath.
Yeah, I'm holding my breath. McKenzie's a really good athlete. Heck of a play to get there.
Boy, you just wonder if he didn't separate it on that lunge.
You know, and here's the thing, Clay. Rocco Garza-Gongora, who's like a first baseman outfielder for them, if McKenzie had to come out of the game, they could slide Snyder over to third base. That's what he played at Washington. But Rocco Garza-Gongora is not here. He's got the flu. Yeah. So this is, you know, I'm sure that's not lost on Anthony McKenzie either. Yeah, that's still a little tender.
Nice staying in the game, and that's good news for the Sooners. It's good news for everybody.
Yes.
Here's Carson Binge now with a man on and one out. And Binge has put a lasting impression on the 2024 Big 12 championship. He's got 10 hits, a couple of home runs. He has driven in 5 this week. He has been on base a bunch, not to mention winning a ball game on the mound.
Struck out 10.
Career high. And this one goes into right field. Binge delivers again. Forsythe will gallop into third. Runners at the corners and one out, and Schubert coming to the plate next.
Yeah, the first hit for Binge was just your classic 17 hopper, you're living right. This one is why Carson Binge is going to get drafted very high. He whistles the bat through the strike zone, Clay, like most people don't. I mean, that ball's away. I mean, that is some serious bat speed.
Will Karsten has been up and down the last couple of innings in the Oklahoma bullpen. He is currently up again and getting loose for the Sooners.
That said, Clay, Crooks is the matchup because his changeup's a good fit to face Schubert. Yeah, there it is.
This is a critical juncture, you would think, in the game for both teams. As you know, Crooks is trying to get through the 7th here and keep this a 2-run game.
Yep. Schubert just got to trust his power to left field. He went second deck opposite field the other day. Boy, that's pitching right there, Clay. Change up down and away, slow you down. Fastball 92 on your hands, speed you up. I mean, that is elite pitching by Dylan Crooks in a big spot.
0-2 to Schubert, who has a couple of home runs in the championship and 7 runs batted in. Didn't miss by much.
Wow, it's an even better pitch by Crooks. And again, if you're Schubert, you cannot react to that pitch and get overly conscious of fastball in, because you've got to look out for that changeup. I think if he beats you, it's got to be fastball in.
Fly ball deep center field. Spikerman going back, looking up at the wall. Goodbye, home run. Nolan Schubert, his 3rd home run of the championship. And it's 7-2 Oklahoma State.
Wow, Clay, that's a matchup that only the postseason can give you. For Dylan Crooks, he made 3 perfect pitches to a future big leaguer. Nolan Schubert, though, did not get spooked and lose his composure.
Still just 1 out here in the 7th for Oklahoma State as Earhart hits.
I just want to say this, Clay, like if you're an Oklahoma fan, and I think Oklahoma fans get this, my opinion, of course, you are in no way in danger of not being a top 8 national seed. You've made it to the Big 12 championship game. You were 23-7 in the regular season. Now, certainly you want to win this game, but Oklahoma is going to be hosted in the postseason.
23 Big 12 wins in the regular season, winning the title for the first time. They had 6 conference sweeps. It's not that they were winning series, they were sweeping them.
It's 23 wins out of 30. It's a massive number in a league of this caliber.
Earhart fouls it off. These are the top 8 national seeds according to D1Baseball.com. The projections right now have Tennessee, followed by Kentucky, North Carolina, and A&M as the top 4.
Yeah, the last 2 spots were the ones coming into conference tournament play that felt a little, you know, Oklahoma's non-conference performance was not as strong as their conference performance. But again, 23-7, win this league by 3 games is so loud, and now they're in this title game.
You know, and Oklahoma, the number 9 strength of schedule, and you saw Tennessee as the projected number 1 overall national seed. Oklahoma beat Tennessee right here at Globe Life back in February, so that's on their resume as well.
Yeah, even when Oklahoma was trying to find themselves early in the year, they would do things like that, like beat a Tennessee. And this reminds me of the 2022 team, Clay, where you saw Oklahoma early in the year in 2022, and you're like, man, I don't know if that team's making a regional. And then you saw them in May, you're like, whoa, what just happened? Like, they got, and again, it's a credit to the coaching staff that they really get in the trenches with these guys, and this goes for both these programs. Just over the course of the season, they just keep coming, they keep getting better, keep improving.
Karsten's pitch, that's outside. So now full count as Will Karsten has just come in out of the Oklahoma bullpen after Dylan Crooks gave up a 3-run homer to Nolan Schubert. This would be pitch number 9 of the at-bat. This is the kind of at-bat Earhart gives you all the time.
Yep.
He's got a good eye. He knows how to fight off pitches that aren't exactly perfect, and just makes pitchers work. And especially when it's the first hitter that you have to face, it really challenges you as a reliever. Yeah.
Just awesome. And again, Clay, Zach Earhart is such a great compliment. You know, Nolan Schubert is a unicorn, like he's a lumberjack who plays baseball, right? And then Carson Binge is, you know, like a California surfer dude, like super cool, super talented. Earhart is all energy.
Line drive, and Pettis runs in to make the catch. 2 down.
And Schubert's been a great story getting him to Oklahoma State, because remember, he grew up in Michigan. In his freshman year of high school, he was committed to go to the University of Michigan. But then after that school went through a coaching change, his senior year of high school, he reopened his recruitment, and it was through Josh's nephew, Jackson Holiday, that he learned about Oklahoma State, came on a visit, and decided to come here. And also Zach Earhart as well was recruited to Oklahoma State through Jackson. Aiden Miola, same story. And so we talk about Jackson Holiday as the #1 overall prospect in baseball, but he's had a big impact on this Oklahoma State program. He was committed to play here, and it's because him that a lot of these guys are in this lineup.
Yeah, he's done a great job recruiting.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I still am a little ticked at Jackson Holiday. It's like, I know you were the first pick in the draft, and that's like worth like $9 million, blah, 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 but yada, yada, yada. But you don't want to go play for your uncle? Come on now, right? So, I kid, obviously, but to know that Jackson Holiday was doing some serious recruiting on the back end, I'm in.
To third, McKenzie throws out Wolford, and the inning is
about it. Kidding, of course, because when Reggie got to OU 3 seasons ago, that was the focus, is to be more aggressive on the base paths, and Kendall leading the charge with this group for sure.
Oh, I really doubt Reggie did that.
I don't doubt it for a second. Are you kidding
come
me?
on.
It's his record. Can you imagine, say, Kendall, I don't want the book getting out on you. People thinking, let's save that for the postseason. Don't want you tweaking a hamstring. I'm thinking of you. This is for you.
That's underhanded. I don't believe it for a minute. Back up the middle, base hit. Look out, Gabe Davis. That sizzled right over his shoulder. Off the bat of Pettis. That's his second hit of the ball game.
I'm telling you, this time of year, Kendall Pettis has another gear, defensively, offensively. For Davis, he throws so hard, you better be on time for the fastball. You're right, Clay, he cooked that.
That is hit number 5 for Oklahoma. They haven't had a ton of traffic on the bases. First against Molsky and now against Gabe Davis. Molsky went 4 1/3 tonight. It was a really good start for Molsky in his first career start. And now Davis, who came out of the 5th, gives up his first hit. '57 career stolen bags, as Taylor just talked about, for Pettis. So they're going to keep an eye on him. As Oklahoma's trying to come back as they look for their second tournament title in the last 3 years and the 4th overall before leaving for the SEC. Scott Mudler, strikeout and a flyout, 0 for 2. So you lose Oklahoma in this league, you lose Texas. Those are 2 big names, 2 brand names. They've been around this league for a long time, but you know the league is going to look pretty good next year too come baseball season. Arizona, Arizona State, Utah joining the Big 12. It's high, 2-1.
Yeah, I think, you know, I've been one, Clay, that just kind of despises conference realignment. But I got to say, like, one positive has been Big 12 baseball. You know, of course, you hate to lose Oklahoma and Texas, 2 great programs. But to gain, you know, UCF has been an awesome addition. Houston's got a ton of upside. BYU had a young team this year. They have a great history in baseball. You know, Cincinnati obviously on the bubble this year. And then you bring in Arizona and Arizona State, who combined for 9 national titles. And then Utah almost won the Pac-12 this year. It's going to be it was a fun league this year. I think the Big 12 in baseball is just getting started. I think it's going to be super fun going forward.
Travel's going to be a bear, but it's going to be fun.
For everybody, though, by the way. I think the travel wears out the adults more than the players. I remember being a college athlete and just loving the road trips. Now, I maybe wasn't quite as serious about my studies as others. I did graduate, just to be clear.
Over the mound, slow. And they'll get 2. They will get 1. That's a nice play by Avery Ortiz. Keep in mind, Gabe Davis is 6'9", and it was over his head. Ortiz had to hurry up. There was no way to get 2, but he did get the play at first.
Yeah, Davis is screening him like in hockey. You got the runner bearing down on you. You're in a dead sprint, and you basically just have to redirect the baseball to first base. Now, Brigham does a nice job there. Yeah, you know, you're chasing 9 outs, or you're trying to collect 9 outs if you're Oklahoma State, and that's a big one right there. Not an easy one to gather.
9-hole hitter Jason Walk up there again. Single and a run scored in the 5th.
I'm getting a little nervous about Gabe Davis, though, Clay. He's been great, but it might be time to get him out of there. The misses are getting pretty big.
Well, there he lands a strike.
And that's pitching. That's a 1-0 changeup, Clay. Like that, you're kind of on your heels, and you're a big hard thrower, and you go 1-0 changeup. That's real high-level pitching, pitch making.
This is the 8th batter he's facing. A couple of strikeouts so far. It's in the dirt. No runs, 1 hit, 2 innings for Gabe Davis in relief of Molsky.
Hardest part of running the game right here is deciding when to go to the bullpen. You always feel like you're a little too early or a little too late. It's like picking stocks, Clay.
Which you're very good at, I understand. That's a foul ball off the foot of Walk. Walk, one of the fastest guys on this Oklahoma roster. We saw him on the bases back in the 5th inning. The guy can motor.
Yeah, and this is OU, again, their MO offensively under Reggie Willits is speed and athleticism, because that plays offensively and that plays defensively.
A lot of speed at the bottom of this order with Pettis and Walk. That's high. So now full count. As Gabe Davis, as you said, is starting to miss a little bit more than he was before.
And what makes you nervous is these misses, you can start to get your defense on their heels, and every comeback has one ingredient: freebies, errors and walks.
Walked him.
Ooh, just missed.
Back to the top of the order for Oklahoma. Spikerman, who had an RBI double his last trip to the plate, comes up with 2 men on and 1 out. Where was this?
Yeah, just missed. And I think part of that is, you know, and that's off. That's off the plate in. Yeah, you know, maybe if you're showing more command, you might get a little leniency there, but that's definitely a ball.
Spikerman, a couple of strikeouts, but then that RBI double to left center in the 5th. 389, 3 homers, 30 runs batted in. Spikerman, honorable mention All Big 12, huge part of the run to Omaha a couple of years ago. Junior from Montgomery, Texas. He had a great Big 12 tournament 2 years ago. That's way outside. 1-1.
You know, the part of the calculus for Josh Holliday and Rob Walton might be, hey, you know, like, we've got a little bit of leash here in this game. Gabe Davis is an important arm for our postseason.
For right now. And he lands a strike.
Boy, he has leaned on that changeup when in doubt. Kind of cool when you've got 100 in your back pocket and you're featuring the changeup.
You said when you're struggling, throw your best pitch. Let's see what he does here. Now that looked closer than the one that missed 2 pitches ago.
Yeah, and I think this is in, but I'll tell you, think about Spikerman. You're trying to deal with a changeup and 96 in on your hands. I mean, hashtag unfair.
That was also inside, though. Two on, 1 out, as Oklahoma is trying to rally back here against Oklahoma State.
Clay, look at how tardy John Spikerman is on this 96. I mean, he almost hit that out of Doherty's glove.
'40th pitch for Davis. Line drive, could be 2, and it is. Oklahoma State gets an inning-ending double play. Right now, Oklahoma State in this Bedlam rematch. Oklahoma leads 7-2 as we move to the 8th inning. And it'll be Richie, Doherty, and Brigham. 6, 7, and 8 for the Cowboys to hit. Richie uncorks to right center. Forget about it. Goodbye home run. Colin Ritchie. That's his 10th home run of the year. Ride him, Cowboy. 8-2, Oklahoma State.
Hey now, a freshman left-handed hitter that Oklahoma State is really excited about, drafted out of high school, maybe the third baseman of the future. This is up and away, and this is pulled for a home run. Clay, that is some serious strength right there. That's like lunch pail strength.
He was in the starting lineup for a while at the beginning of the year, playing a little left, playing a little third base. And yeah, they've got big plans for him. He had a pinch hit single against Texas Tech on Wednesday night. It's a home run here in the Big 12 championship.
That's a moment. This game has had some juice too. Like, you're a true freshman and you go to summer ball this summer and you get ready for your sophomore year and you're like, you know, I hit a tank in the Big 12 championship game against our rival.
And now this is a tank for Ian Doherty. And that's going to get out of here. Goodbye, home run, Ian Doherty. His 10th of the year. Back-to-back solo jacks for Oklahoma State. 9-2 Cowboys. Eighth Big 12 tournament finals appearance. 7th time under Josh Holliday. That includes last year. It has turned to be quite the reverse for Oklahoma State compared to a year ago. Last year they were on the losing end of a lopsided affair. Now they could be on the winning end of a lopsided game. TCU won 12-5 last year in this championship. Colin Briggeman has a double tonight and a run scored.
I think for Oklahoma State too, Clay, you know, in the 80s, in the heyday, they went to Omaha 7 straight years. That's not happening in the 2020s, right? Like, this is a different era in college baseball where even to go 4 years in a row is banana cakes.
Briggeman grounds out. One down here in the 8th.
And, you know, I think no one's more frustrated about not getting to Omaha since 2016 than Josh Holliday. But that said, some of the experiences they've had in the postseason. I remember 2019, they played Texas Tech in the Lubbock Super Regional, where you're 2 wins from Omaha. 3 games decided by a total of 5 runs. I mean, just, you know, an incredible Super Regional. The 2022 Stillwater Regional we mentioned, epic, you know, all-time great. Last year, you run into Oral Roberts, one of the best 4 seeds in the history of the NCAA tournament. So, but I think for Oklahoma State, it's that old Tiger Woods thing, right? You keep giving yourself chances to win championships. Guess what happens? Yeah. You end up winning championships.
Avery Ortiz at the plate. On a strike to Ortiz. Oklahoma State will be at home next weekend. We're not exactly sure what national seed they'll get. It's projected right now to be a 13 seed. I think that Josh Holliday has never missed an NCAA tournament since he's been the head coach in Stillwater.
It's unreal.
It's been obvious just how much passion Josh Holliday has for coaching at Oklahoma State, but his passion for hitting should not be overlooked either. I had an amazing conversation with him yesterday, talking about when he was a young kid in the cages with his uncle and his dad. And he said, I just developed a passion. He's read about every single book on hitting you can out there. But then he was very fortunate because his brother Matt played in the major leagues for a long time and was teammates with guys like Albert Pujols, Todd Helton, some of the best pure hitters we've ever seen. And he told me about a conversation he had with Todd Helton at dinner one night.
This is out to center. Spikerman's got it.
And the conversation was cool because Josh was asking Todd, how come you always get balls out over the plate? Why is nobody pitching you up and in? And Todd said, because at the beginning of every series, they will try to pitch me up and in, and I'll show that I'll pull the ball, and I'm willing to do that. Yeah. And so they leave the ball out over the plate. And he just went on and on about all these conversations he's had with major leaguers and just how much passion he has for teaching hitting. And it's pretty cool to just hear that aspect in addition to just his love for Oklahoma State.
Yeah, I mean, just you think about the Holliday family. To me, it's the first family of American baseball right now. You know, Tom Holliday is the patriarch, and he's a former a head coach in Division I baseball who took a team to Omaha, this Oklahoma State program, and was one of the assistant coaches under Gary Ward when this became a historic brand in college baseball. And you know, Josh and Matt and Jackson and Ethan and Brady Holiday, Josh and Jenny's son. Don't overlook Brady, ball player.
Nicholas
And there's an uptick happening there in USC.
Gabe Davis still on the mound for Oklahoma State. Tommy Molsky started. Davis has been on since 1 out in the 5th inning. 7-run lead for Oklahoma State in this championship. Carmichael, Willits, and Snyder to hit here for Oklahoma. Some good news for bubble teams as we look at the national picture right now.
Yeah, 2 things that jump out are Duke beat Miami in the semifinals of the ACC. If Miami had advanced to the finals, you're worried about them stealing a bid because they won't be an at-large team. And then San Diego has an elite at-large resume. They won the WCC, so they will just get the at-large bid. So, you know, again, if you're on the bubble, you're loving USD and winning and Duke winning today too.
Throwing the bat away, Carmichael. Have to go retrieve it. That's a strike. So that's good news for K-State right now. They're not out of the woods yet, but K-State from the Big 12, they're a bubble team.
You know, according to the projections, they were last 4 in, which is never, you know, never comforting. And you know, you never know where the committee's going to go.
Hit toward the gap, and that's going to get down and run all the way to the wall for Carmichael. He's going to stop at second base. That is hit number 6 for the Sooners. Stand growing mentally, not physically anymore.
Yeah,
I don't know that they want him to grow
6'9"
anymore physically.
Is plenty good.
Here's Jackson Willits. He has struck out twice in this ballgame. Davis continues to labor finding the strike zone. He's thrown 5 out of the zone here in this inning, giving up the double to Carmichael. Now 2-0.
Wow.
95.
You know, Clay, that's a luxury when you're behind the count 2-0 and you just pipe your fastball and it's so firm that the hitter's like, not sure.
Three and 1. And I think the approach here for the Sooners is just make Davis earn it.
I'd take a strike or another strike here if I was Jackson Willits. Give him a chance to walk you.
As you got the cleanup hitter Michael Snyder on deck. He's got a hit in 3 trips. The 3-1. And he lost it. Not sure where that one was.
Just missed.
Just missed, apparently, according to Mike Morris. So 2 on and no but 6 outs. Carmichael at second, Willits at first for Oklahoma with Michael Snyder at the plate. He's 1 for 3. Line drive, that's a base hit. Carmichael will come in. Coasting into third is Willits. He will stop there. RBI double for Michael Snyder. And it's now 9-3.
I'll tell you, Clay, Michael Snyder is just a veteran, mature, winning player. The book on Kranz is it's a devastating slider. So he doesn't wait around. He sits on it. Gets the first pitch slider that Kranz would throw for a strike to try and gain count leverage. Hammers it down the left field line. That's a professional approach is what that is.
'55th run batted in for Snyder. Now McKenzie.
There it is.
And that's the strike Kranz was looking to start him with. McKenzie has struck out twice. He's 0 for 3. 94. Foul back.
Yeah, Kranz has got plenty of stuff, but the momentum of the game is flipped. Kranz's slider, Clay, his whiff rate on that pitch is 53%. The average in Division I baseball on a slider is 33%. So it's an exceptional pitch. And it's just, you know, Kranz has got just enough fastball, 93, 94, to keep you honest. You know, Clay, with the Oklahoma hitters, there's just such a, you can't tell the score by the look on their face. They just keep coming at you, 1 through 9. It's I'm so impressed with Oklahoma this week. Ooh, that's a good pitch.
Yeah, Mike Morris' strike zone has been tight here tonight. It's been hard to get a strike. You've had to earn it.
Yeah, that's right. Now, yeah, and I think that's a ball. I'll tell you, it's a good pitch. It's a better take. Really good take by Anthony McKenzie.
2-2. Fly ball to center. Earhart was a great arm coming in toward the infield, tagging is Willits, but he's not going to tempt fate, as Earhart has been known to throw out runners from that distance.
You know, in fairness to Jackson Willits, Clay, you can't make an out at home plate down this much late in the game in the 8th inning. And Earhart wasn't even considering throwing to home because he just wants to keep runners. Yeah, that's the right play. Don't force an out at the lead base. So Earhart, very good defense right there.
Here's Nicholas now, who yesterday had the game-winning 2-run homer against Kansas in the semifinals. Now, if he can cut loose here, that would really change the feel of this ballgame. So that one's fouled off from Kranz. So you were talking about Oklahoma and, you know, their constitution, just how gritty, how tough, how professional their at-bats are. And then they're going to be at home 2 weeks in a row, potentially, if they are a top 8 national seed. And it seems to be the case. That's into the Oklahoma State dugout. I mean, that's a big advantage being at home in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I mean, you know, your fans and be an incredible environment. Yeah, long story short, Clay, is somebody's got to beat you twice on your own field to keep you from advancing in the tournament and getting to Omaha. It's now we again, it's so hard. We see it happen every year.
Popped up. Hit a mile high on the infield. Third base, Wolford calling for it. That is not an easy play. Not an easy play. That nearly hit one of the cross beams on the roof.
Remember, Clay, these types of sky balls always, they just drift back onto the field. So you always want the middle of the field guys catching those. Tyler Wolford. There's definitely a collective orange exhale when that ball remained in his glove.
2 outs, and here comes Pettis. Last night, Zeke and I saw a ball fouled back that actually went over one of the crossbeams. I mean, it's a high roof here, but you can get a ball that high.
Yeah, that's something.
Kendall Pettis has been on 3 times in this game. Ball and a strike.
That's unfair right there. You go fastball up on a guy's jersey and then rip that slider. That looks like it's going to be the same pitch that's going to hit you. Watch, Pettis kind of flinches a little bit there. Yep.
Kranz.
Flip it to first. Deck opposite field. So Nolan Schubert has got crazy power.
Future big leaguer. Carson Binge, also a future big leaguer. I mean, he's made a great case to be the player of this tournament.
Sure has. having a week.
2 hits again in this game.
Just, you never know, Clay. Like last year, TCU played great in the conference tournament, and it carried it right into that Fayetteville regional. They went there and just scorched earth. I mean, TCU just, there was no doubt who was winning that Fayetteville regional last year.
And then they got a break too, being able to host a super regional, as Indiana State couldn't do it because their facilities were tied up with the Special Olympics, as Terre Haute hosts that every year, and good for them. And it was just unfortunate. Indiana State was able to host a super regional but couldn't pull it off, and so TCU got that luxury.
Yeah, and had record crowds. I mean, it was good. Like those crowds in Fort Worth, 9,000 fans a game for those 2 super regionals. Just an incredible scene for college baseball.
Ben Schubert, Earhart here in the 9th. And Oklahoma down to its last 3 offensive outs. This championship started on Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Here it is Saturday night, a little after 9 local time. And nothing decided yet, but it looks pretty good for Oklahoma State. They can win it. It'll be their 4th Big 12 tournament title. Binge just battling here, down 2 strikes. Carson Binge. You know, he missed all of the season 2 years ago after Tommy John. In the last 2 years, he's been phenomenal.
Phenomenal. Yeah, just, and by the way, being a 2A player in Division I baseball, not easy. Pitching and hitting, doing one of those things is hard. So a lot of wear and tear on him, but boy, he is a star player.
Walking and chewing gum is hard for some of us.
And just quickly to your point about missing his entire freshman year due to Tommy John surgery, it shows how much more he can still develop as a player. And to think he's already this good, you just dream about the future and what it could look like for this kid. The more he'll get at bats, especially in pro ball, and just how much he can grow as a player.
Strikes out. First out of the 9th. Yeah, he's going to be playing this game for a long time.
Yeah, he's still pretty lean too. You know, he's going to get that man strength as he gets into professional baseball. And you know, the scouts in our sport are so, it's just amazing. They don't miss a trick, and so there's a reason why he's a top 30 pick.
Well, we've already crowned Schubert player of the game, but let's see what he can do for an encore. A double and a 3-run homer tonight. James hit, gets ahead, that off speed pitch. This will be the 40th win if they can hold on. Oklahoma State 39-17 coming into the night.
Isn't that amazing, Clay? Schubert's got 20 home runs, which is a big number in college baseball. He missed 13 games. I mean, 13 games, that's almost 25% of the college season.
And it was right at the end of February when you're trying to get out to a good start, get into a rhythm for the season, and you get shut down.
It's tough.
It's not easy. Shift is on for Schubert. 2 balls and a strike. James hit. Missing wide again. It's 3-1.
Clay, before I would be remiss if I didn't say this. 2 awesome uniforms in this game. Oklahoma State with the word state written in the baseball bat there, the classic 3-color helmet, the orange jerseys, and then, you know, OU with those pinstripes. I mean, 2 gorgeous units. Come on.
And they lose Schubert. And they've given us a pretty good game here tonight. It's really changed the last 2.5 innings. Really since the Schubert 3-run homer. That's when the game turned toward Oklahoma State. But it was hanging in the balance there for a while. And now here.
But I think the Big 12 deserves 7 bids.
We'll be watching. K-State's going to be watching. New pitcher in for Oklahoma. Big number 99. Jason Bowman. One out here in the Oklahoma State 9th. A 6-run lead. And Schubert at first. Three and 0.
Clay, we're not wearing 99 and coming in and throwing.
Yeah,
like this is not command and control. That's not the jersey number you get if you're a command and control guy. This is bringing the ruckus number.
And he walked it. Yeah, that's not what Skip Johnson had in mind when he brought Bowman in from the bullpen. And he's coming right back out. Another pitching change here at Globe Life. And this is not.
This is where?
Minnetonka.
Ah, well, that's a cool town name.
And that's out of the strike zone.
Ooh, that feels strike-ish.
95 miles an hour, missed low, 1 ball and no strikes to Tyler Wolford. Oklahoma State has 2 on, 1 out. Jackson Kroll running at second base now for Schubert.
There we go. That's a good pitch. Lambert he's a key reliever for Oklahoma. He's got great stats this year. It's a big fastball. Here's Jackson Kroll. Lambert's got a really good slider too. I always worry about the umpires. Now Mike Morse, a uber veteran, but you know, walk, uncompetitive walks, and somebody better nudge the umpire, make sure he's ready to call strikes.
Dive, Mike.
That would end poorly.
Missed you by about 3 rows.
You see that, Clay? What I was pointing out, the state is written in a baseball bat. You see what they're doing there?
Yeah, I like that.
It's from the 80s. It's timeless.
I like things from the 80s.
Yeah. Great decade for movies.
Boy, outs have been hard to come by here for Oklahoma pitching last couple of innings. Throwing a lot of pitches. Not a lot of rhythm here for the Sooners right now. We're probably going to be at home the next 2 weekends, provided they can win the regional. And the Sooners have set attendance records at Mitchell this year. 61,000 fans have shown up to the ballpark. It's been a good year attendance wise. And you can see Skip Johnson talking to the bullpen again, ready to get someone else going in there, because Lambert's battling here.
Clay, I'm just gonna, you know, this in conference tournament play, if you're a fan, it's easy to get worried and, hey, Oklahoma, are we going to be a top 8 seed? Our RPI is only 13, which is not in the top 8. Would this loss kick us out? I'm just telling you, the strength of schedule of 9, if you just go non-conference strength of schedule, Oklahoma's, it's number 6 out of 300. And they've beat Tennessee. They're 14-5 in road games.
Spikerman goes back. Kroll is going to tag. He'll head to third. They're 2 down. Wolford flies out to center. Now bring up Colin Ritchie.
So again, Clay, you talk about OU. They won the Big 12 by 3 games. They were 23-7. They're not. So that's their conference resume. Spotless. It's just on point. Non-conference, they played the #6 most difficult schedule in the country, 14-5 in true road games. I mean, there's top 8 seeds out there didn't even get to 19 road games, let alone go 14-15 in them. They beat Tennessee, who's going to end up being the #1 overall seed, I believe. So for me, Oklahoma's top 8 resume is bulletproof. Now, they might be the 7 or 8 seed, but I think they've got to be a top 8.
You win 23 games in this conference?
Yeah, and
I think so.
Yeah, if your non-conference schedule was kind of a dog, then that's a different conversation. But it wasn't. It was elite.
Was not. #9 strength of schedule. Ball and a strike here to Richie, who hit a home run to lead off the 8th inning. And then Doherty backed him up with a home run. Looking ahead to the Oklahoma 9th, it's 8-9-1. Not ideal for the Sooners. But remember, they had a walk-off game winner in the 9th against the Jayhawks yesterday. It's a nice play at third by McKenzie. Would be really special for Josh Holliday.
100%. When Taylor was telling that story about the holidays, Tom Holliday, the dad, texted me this really cool text. He said, "Mike, I took Josh and Matt to Omaha 13 times. They thought it was part of summer vacation." So if you, again, you're Josh Holliday. You grow up as the bat boy for Robin Ventura and Pete Incaviglia and those guys. Those are your heroes, and now you are in charge of shepherding this program.
Well, Robert Kranz comes out. Gets behind 3 balls and no strikes to the 8-hitter, the catcher, Scott Mudlin. Walks the leadoff man. 4 pitches. Jason Walk will hit for himself here in the 9-hole. And if Oklahoma can get some guys on for the Carmichaels and Willets and Snyders of the world, I mean, this game could change on a dime.
Sure could.
There's the first strike of the inning.
Yeah, and for Oklahoma State, you could see the anxiousness in their dugout.
Yeah.
Like these last 3 outs are tricky. You got to slow your heartbeat down and just win pitches.
Nice play at second. Ortiz with the flip. Are you kidding? Didn't have time to make a transition to his throwing hand, so he used the glove. And he gets the force of Mudlin. That's a Sports Center top 10 right there.
Boy, Avery Ortiz got an opportunity because of some injuries to upperclassmen, and boy, is he taking advantage of it with a little glove flip. That is everything about, yeah, that's right. That's what I'm talking about.
And we have seen some great defense throughout this week, starting on Tuesday. I mean, think about the catch Kendall Pettis made against TCU on Wednesday. That catch he made in the left field corner laying out. That was a beauty.
Yeah, John Nett of Kansas robbed a home run, ended up being the top play on Sports Center that night.
Gasparino of Texas robbed a home run over the center field wall.
Boy, is he something. 6'6" gazelle in center field.
Yeah, and he's got a frame that is going to pack on some weight and some muscle, and he's going to be devastating in years to come. There's a strike to Spikerman.
It's a good thing Texas is leading the Big 12. You know, his dad, Billy Gasparino, was Josh Holliday's roommate at Oklahoma State. So I don't think Will's allowed to play good against the Cowboys.
Spikerman 1 for 4 with an RBI double. That gets away, gets to the backstop. Doherty will pick it up and throw it back as Walk is at second base now with 1 out.
Yeah, Ian Doherty saying, my bad. Mike Morris looking at Ian Doherty like, come on, man, I need you to finish this thing. We can't have balls going through you and hitting me. Not at this point.
So that'll take the double play out of order. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Spikerman. 9-3 Oklahoma State. And now full count with Carmichael on deck, who doubled his last time to the plate.
Whatever happens, it won't be easy. Not against this OU lineup.
Walked him, 2 on for Carmichael.
You know, you get the adrenaline rushing, Clay. I mean, Kranz had 10 walks in 28 appearances this year. He's got 2 this inning.
Walked the leadoff man Mudler, and now walks Spikerman. And now a little delay here. Strike to Willits. He struck out twice tonight. Reached on a walk his last time to the plate. Oklahoma 37 wins, the Big 12 regular season champs. Oklahoma State ready to raise a trophy here in the Big 12 tournament.
I tell you, Clay, this is a good simulation for like the end of a super regional, the end of a regional, where the juices get flowing, and it's just hard to slow the heartbeat down and just play baseball.
Thanks to everybody who put in such hard work this week. The cameramen, the technicians, the production crew. Popped up on the infield. Forsythe has it, and for the 4th time, the Oklahoma State Cowboys are Big 12 tournament champs.